Hey, so what are the best rides at Universal's Islands of Adventure, and where can you eat the best snacks around the park, and what shows here are really worth your time? We're giving you the ultimate guide to Disney's greatest competition here on DFB Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. You guys have been asking me more and more for Universal Orlando content lately, which I'm sure has a lot to do with the up-and-coming Epic Universe opening on May 22nd this year. So that's exactly what we're going to give you. But we don't just want to set you up for success for one park. We want to make sure you're good to go in any of the uni parks you visit, which is why today's video is all about Universal Islands of Adventure and the smorgasbord of offerings you can find over there. This is going to be super fun. Okay, editor, put 60 seconds on the clock because I'm about to summarize the entirety of what you're going to find over at Islands of Adventure in exactly 1 minute. Ready? Let the countdown begin. Okay, once you walk into Islands of Adventure, you're going to be able to explore 8 different lands. Port of entry acts as the Main Street USA of the park, so you won't find any rides here, but you will find a few shops and places to snack. Then, if we're going clockwise, it's Marvel Superhero Island, which has rides and shops and restaurants based around the superhero characters featured in Marvel Comics, but not from the MCU. That's a whole other story for another day and not in my 60-second time frame. Toon Lagoon is next. This land of water rides is also based on comic characters, but this time we're diving into comic strips, like who you'd find in the Sunday funnies of the newspaper. Remember those? Right, kids? Newspapers? Skull Island is technically its own land, featured right past Toon Lagoon, but the only ride you'll find here is Skull Island, Reign of Kong. That being said, Skull Island bleeds into the next section of the park pretty well because we go from giant gorillas to giant dinos in Jurassic Park. Then we fly on to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which transports you to the best-selling book series and film franchise as you explore the attractions and shops around Hogsmeade and Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Once you step out of Hogsmeade, you'll enter into the slightly underwhelming Lost Continent area, though you will find the award-winning Mythos restaurant here. And finally, that brings us back around to Seuss Landing, a whimsical, colorful area. Stop the clock. There. Did I do it? Did I win? If I didn't, just increase the speed on your video and watch it again. Okay, Universal has a handful of different park ticket options for you to choose from, but not every ticket option is going to be a Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants scenario or one size fits all. Some might save you money, some might save you time, and some might save you from a horrible case of FOMO. What's going to be the right fit for you? Let's take a look. For the Disney person who's hesitant about leaving the Disney bubble, 1 day, 2 parks. Look, I get it. You're not fully ready to commit to the realm of Universal yet, but you're still curious to see what all the fuss is about. If this is the case and you've got some time in the midst of your Disney World vacation, you might want to spend the day checking out the 2 currently open Universal parks with a 1 day, 2 park ticket to see as much as possible in a limited amount of time. Keep in mind that a park-to-park ticket option can be applied to multi-day tickets too, and it's the only way you'll be able to ride the Hogwarts Express, since that wizarding locomotive will transport you between both parks. How about for the person who's on a budget but has never seen Islands of Adventure? 1 day, 1 park. Universal Studios Florida might be old news to you, but Islands of Adventure might be uncharted territory. If you really want to see every nook and cranny of this park and you don't want to worry about hopping somewhere else midday, you can always stick with the 1 day, 1 park option. These tickets are typically cheaper anyways. While 1 day park-to-park tickets for adults start at $174, a 1 day, 1 park ticket starts at $119. How about for the person who's committed to the Universal bubble? Multi-day tickets. Diving headfirst into the Universal scene this year, then you're going to want to go ahead and invest in multi-day tickets for however long you want to be in the parks. Often, Universal will have multi-day ticket promotions going on that'll help you receive 2 free park days with a multi-day ticket purchase. So make sure you read up on all the promo details if you're wanting to make sure you make the most of your time in Universal as much as possible, without having to pay a bunch more to do so. Okay, for the person whose main objective is to ride everything, tickets plus express passes. No matter how many days you decide to be in the parks, you might want to go ahead and add on an express pass purchase to each of your tickets to make sure you can zip zap zop your way around the main queues and get to the front of the ride lines a lot quicker. Universal Orlando offers 2 types of express passes for their theme parks, each of which is priced based on seasonal crowd levels. The Universal Express Pass allows you to skip the standby lines 1 time per participating ride and ranges from $89.99 to $349.99 per person, while the Universal Express Unlimited option ranges from $99.99 to $379.99 per person and allows unlimited line bypassing at participating rides, like an all-you-care-to-enjoy line bypassing buffet. I know, super pricey, right? And if you're spending several days in these parks, you might not need the Express Pass option at all. However, if you're planning on staying in one of Universal's premier hotels during your next trip, like Loews Portofino Bay, Royal Pacific, Hard Rock Hotel, then you'll actually get free Universal Express Unlimited passes for all guests under the hotel reservation who have valid theme park tickets. This is a huge deal, y'all. This is like one of the best hacks ever, and I love it. I understand it's expensive to stay at those hotels, but it's often going to be cheaper to stay at the hotel than to pay for express passes for everyone in your party. Now, Universal actually has several different hotel options you can choose to stay in during your next visit, and each comes with its own pros and cons, don't we all? So if you want to learn more about our official rankings for each Uni hotel, go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen now, or head over to disneyfoodblog.com/Universal Ranks for our free guide to every Universal hotel, including the ones we're anticipating to see open up soon. How about for the person who has to see Epic Universe this year? You're going to want the 3-park ticket. At the time of this video's release, the only way you can snag Epic Universe tickets for your upcoming visit is by purchasing a 3 to 4 park ticket bundle, which includes visits to Universal Studios Florida, Islands of Adventure, and maybe even Volcano Bay too, depending on the ticket type. There are no single-day Epic Universe tickets for sale yet, except if you're an annual pass holder. This will more than likely change in the future, and we'll let you know once it does change. But if you're getting ready to lock in your Universal trip soon, you're going to have to fully commit to the Universal bubble if you want to see Epic Universe this year. Another important thing to mention is that at this time, Epic Universe won't be offering Express Pass add-ons. But again, we expect that to change once this new park gate finds its footing. All right, are you ready for rides? Because I am ready for rides. If you've already seen our Ultimate Guide to Universal Studios Florida video, then you probably already know how this game of ours is going to work. And if you haven't already watched it, then A, you'll definitely want to after this, and B, no worries, I'll catch you up to speed. You know that social media trend? I don't know if it's still trending, but it was, where a person either stands really close to their camera or really far away based on how much they recommend something, like a book or a song or a TV show. Yeah, that's what we're going to do today. But instead of a person, we're going to have a Cat in the Hat face that gets closer or further away from the screen based on how much we recommend prioritizing an Islands of Adventure ride. This shouldn't be terrifying at all. Starting with Carousel, it only feels right that our Cat in the Hat icon should start its ratings with a Dr. Seuss-based attraction. The Carousel is a classic carousel ride for all ages, but instead of your traditional horses, you're going to be able to ride on the back of a Seuss creature, which is very cool. Dr. Doom's Fear Fall is next. The main reason Cat in the Hat is backing away from the screen right now is because I usually skip this, but maybe you won't want to. Dr. Doom's Fear Fall shoots you up in the air and drops you back down again, like a drop tower. Similar to Tower of Terror, but it all takes place outdoors and it doesn't have a storyline that traps you inside the Twilight Zone, which I definitely prefer over on the Disney side of things. Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls is next. Now, if you're a fan of those classic log flume rides, then you're going to love Dudley Do-Right's. It's a colorful, cartoony, 75-foot drop to get you absolutely soaking wet. I think it's a good time, albeit a little cheesy and dated in parts, but I will forever hate getting in and out of that log flume vehicle. It is very awkward. Flight of the Hippogriff is another family-friendly kiddie coaster similar to the Troller Coaster over in Universal Studios Florida, but I think I like Flight of the Hippogriff better, just because you can see Buckbeak. Now, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. Everyone in the world loves this ride. The end. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure is one of the few rides ever that I'd wait a significant amount of time in line for, which you might have no choice but to wait in a long line for it, considering Hagrid's is not eligible for the Express Pass. This coaster features multiple launches, state-of-the-art animatronics, and thrilling ride elements that make sure this ride never hits a lull from beginning to end. Next is the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey ride. Now, this is right there in Hogwarts Castle. It's another great Wizarding World ride, and I think it is my favorite of the 3 Wizarding World rides at the moment. Well, I guess there's 4 if you count Hogwarts Express, but this one's my favorite. It's a classic. I don't know. I know everybody likes Hagrid's better. Bria likes Hagrid's better. I just really like this one. Anyway, the Forbidden Journey is one of those rare theme park rides where the queue is just as entertaining as the ride itself, since you're going to get to walk through the classrooms and corridors of Hogwarts Castle. Now, when you're on the ride, your vehicle will be tossed about via this robo-crane arm technology, thrusting you into different Harry Potter scenarios that'll make you face off with dragons and spiders and Dementors and Draco Malfoy on the Quidditch field. I don't know. I love this one. Moving on to Jurassic Park River Adventure. If you're gonna miss the animatronic dinos over in Disney's Animal Kingdom, after the dinosaur ride goes away next year, Jurassic Park the ride will be there to help you ease the pain with your very own array of animatronic dinos, as well as a big old drop that'll splash you at the end of this otherwise slow-going dark ride. And Velocicoaster. Coaster enthusiasts rejoice. This is the high-speed, adrenaline-inducing roller coaster that you will probably maybe pass out on. Velocicoaster is an innovative Jurassic World-themed attraction where you're going to be racing velociraptors in a ride with multiple launches, upside-down loops, corkscrews, major drops, hang time, and other features that'll leave your heart going ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom real fast for the rest of the day. Okay, how about something a little bit more tame? One Fish, Two Fish is another slow-going attraction inside Seuss Landing. It's also another aerial carousel like Dumbo and Kang and Godos, but I think I'd rank this one in the middle of those two. While I don't like it more than Dumbo, I do like it more than the man-eating alien ride, just because you get a fun little game that you can play during this one. During the ride, you'll hear the words up, 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 or down, 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 so direct your ride vehicle to follow the commands or face the consequences. And by consequences, I mean you're going to be sprayed if you do the exact opposite of what the ride tells you, which might be tempting on those super hot days. If you've ever gone to a theme park and thought, gee, I wish I could have a fun-filled day here and take a bath with my clothes on, then you're going to love Popeye and Bluto's Bilge Rat barges. This is a family river raft ride that will have you dripping wet, like no one escapes this one unscathed. But fortunately, if you don't want to walk around in wet clothes all day, there are full-size people dryers nearby that you can pay for. And there are also people dryers close to the Dudley Do-Rights and Jurassic Park River Adventure. Okay, Pteranodon Flyers. I'm sorry, Pteranodon Flyers. It's not that I don't like you, it's just that I can never ride you because I'm too tall. Pteranodon Flyers has a height limit that keeps this ride for kids only. The only way a grown-up can ride Pteranodon Flyers is by accompanying a kid who meets the height requirement between 36 and 56 inches. Warning, Pteranodon Flyers has been closed for a while now and seems to be remaining closed, so I'll let you know what the final fate of this ride is once we learn more. Pteranodon Flyers. I'm just going to say it again because I like saying Pteranodon. Skull Island Reign of Kong is set up very similar to Fast and Furious over in Universal Studios Florida, but I do like Skull Kong better, if only for that major King Kong animatronic that shows up for the grand finale. Another intense roller coaster for all my coaster fanatics. The Incredible Hulk coaster is a big boy. He's going to shoot you out of a gamma ray tunnel and right into these major drops and upside down loops. I like this one, I really do, but it can also give you some pretty gnarly headaches when your head's starting to ping pong against the shoulder restraints. If you want to help prevent this, try leaning your head forward just a bit and keep your focus straight ahead. Coasters are also a lot smoother from the front of the vehicle versus when you're situated in the back, so you might want to try requesting a seat closer to the front for a less rowdy ride through. Okay, Storm Force Acceleration. I'm going to be real with you. I forget that this exists. It's another one of those spinning teacup-like rides, which might be a good way for younger kids to pass the time while waiting for the older kids to get off Dr. Doom or the Incredible Hulk coaster. But otherwise, if you've ridden a teacup, then Storm Force isn't much different than that. Now, if you could only pick one heavily screen-based ride to try across the Universal Orlando parks, you might want to try Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man as your number one choice. There's a lot going on in this ride that goes even beyond the 3D storytelling. You got physical set pieces, vibrations, lights, water effects, pyrotechnics, quite a few thrills. Also, I love the queue line because it's so old school newspaper office. I don't know, the writer in me just adores that. Okay, Cat in the Hat. How does one go about describing the Cat in the Hat dark ride? It's dark. It's a ride. It spins and tells a story and is made for all ages. It's kind of terrifying and it might haunt you a little bit. Let's just say I haven't been able to sleep all through the night ever since the Cat in the Hat stared me down with those droopy paint-chipped eyes. It's a special one. No, okay, stop. Shrink that cat in the head icon down right now, Bria. High in the Sky Seuss Trolley Train Ride is fine, but it makes me angry every time I think about it because Bria once called it the people mover of Universal Orlando, and that insulted my very being. But in all seriousness, parents, this is a cute one for younger kids, so don't skip it just because I'm being silly, but it is not the people mover. Real quick before we move on, I want to talk about ride accessibility. Universal Orlando's rides aren't always the most accommodating, and I find that to be more of the case in Islands of Adventure than with Universal Studios Florida. But the worst part about that is how some folks wait hours and hours to ride something only to find out it's not going to work for them. Either they're not going to fit in the seat or the seat doesn't work for whatever their stature is. Many of these attractions do have test seats right outside the ride that you can try out before hopping in the queue, and you can find out which rides have test seats available ahead of time on the Universal app. Certain rides also have more accommodating seats that aren't as clearly advertised because they're not always a guarantee. For example, on the Hulk coaster, select seats will be modified with 2 seat belts instead of just 1 to provide guests with more room. And while only select rows will have these modified seats, typically rows 1, 4, 5, and 8, you'll be able to easily spot which seat in your row has been modified when you find the red belt buckle straps. Meanwhile, on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, the far end seats are going to give you more room than the middle ones as well. At the end of the day, Universal is going to work with you to make sure you can experience these rides as comfortably as possible, but it's always good to do some research ahead of time so you know what to expect from the attractions before you go. Okay, let's be real here for a second. Are there actually good places to snack and dine inside Islands of Adventure? Well, I'd be lying to y'all if I didn't admit I was hesitant at first, but last year my scriptwriter Bria and I ventured around all of Universal Orlando trying to find the best food across all the parks, and here's what we found in Islands of Adventure. For Harry Potter fans, head to the 3 Broomsticks. If you really want that authentic Wizarding World dining experience, then you're going to want to pay a visit to this location in Islands of Adventure. Well, the menu items here are a bit more on the adventurous side of things, with options like Cornish pasties and mushroom pie. The fish and chips is an easy go-to for picky eaters. At Honeyduke's, you've got a colorful, magical, full of all sorts of sweet treats location. Bria was basically ready to move into this place, and while you can purchase novelty prepackaged snacks here like chocolate frogs and Birdie Bot's every flavor beans, you can also get freshly made snacks too. Besides their wide assortment of fudge, Honeyduke sells goodies like pumpkin pasties, a convenient handheld treat of pumpkin filling inside a flaky crust, basically portable pumpkin pie. And let's talk butterbeer. I feel like not enough people are as upset as I am that apparently wizards aren't allowed to enjoy a good Diet Coke unless they venture out into Muggle territory, but that's okay. This is the hill I've chosen to die on, I suppose. At least the butterbeer is still pretty tasty. There are 2 butterbeer carts over in Wizarding World, one in front of Hagrid's and the other by the bridge heading toward Jurassic Park. But these carts are only going to serve up the frozen butterbeer. Plus, the lines for them can get rather lengthy by midday. So if you want a regular cold butterbeer or even a hot butterbeer, you'll have to order a cup from Hogshead Pub in the back of 3 Broomsticks, which is going to give you a shorter wait anyways. Now, how about the best snacks? Green eggs and ham, my friends. The Green Eggs and Ham Cafe in Islands of Adventure is surprisingly one of my favorite places in all of Seuss Landing and really all of IOA. And I mean that. This kiosk sells loaded tots and cans of Who Hash, just like the Grinch swiped out of the fridge while stealing Christmas, which to be fair, it is so good that I would probably have swiped it too. And for the loaded tots, you got a few different options to choose from. There's buffalo chicken tots, pizza tots, carnitas tots, and the classic green eggs and ham. And as for the Who Hash, that is served in an aluminum tin stuffed with corned beef, onions, white cheese sauce, scallions, and tater tots. It is really, really good. I'm not even messing with you. Please get the Who Hash. Now, Croissant Moon Bakery is another option to choose. This is located in Port of Entry and sells goodies like danishes and fresh muffins and pies and tarts and eclairs and, of course, croissants. Now, this place is actually a decent spot to grab a quick breakfast, obviously, since it also has morning options like croissant sandwiches and on-the-run continental breakfast and ham, cheese, and egg empanadas. If you want unique table service, Cafe 4 at Islands of Adventure is themed around Marvel's Fantastic Four and has cafeteria-style dining with Italian-inspired cuisine like meatball subs, fettuccine alfredo, pizza by the slice. Cafe 4 is also the place where the Marvel character dining takes place for dinner from Thursday to Sunday, starting at 5 p.m. Characters may vary, but typically you're going to be able to meet and greet heroes like Captain America and Spider-Man and Wolverine and Cyclops and Storm and Rogue. You can book these reservations online or by calling 407-224-3663. Now, if you got to choose just one sit-down meal during your Universal visit, Mythos might be your best bet if you want to eat in a park. You got to go to Beach-A otherwise. This award-winning restaurant features Mediterranean, Asian, and American fare, and some of the more popular items are the beef loin medallions and the fork, knife, and spoon grilled cheese. Again, we've got some more in-depth reviews regarding each of these restaurants, plus several more over on our Best Things to Eat in Universal video, so make sure to check that out once you get the chance. Okay, are you ready for the rules? You're not going to get arrested at Universal Orlando probably, but there are some things you need to know that are a little bit different from how Disney runs things. Here are 2 major Universal rules that you need to familiarize yourself with before you go. Rule number 1, the no bag policy. Many Universal attractions do not allow large items like backpacks or camera bags or purses onto rides. So what do you do with all your stuff then? Do you just always have to kick someone out of your ride group, Survivor style? No. Universal has single-use lockers at each of these attractions to store your items either before you get into the queue or once you're midway through. The standard lockers are pretty small, so if you need more space for larger bags and souvenirs, you have to pay an extra $2 for the additional space. So it might just be best to pack light when you visit this park. Sometimes fanny packs are an exception to this rule since the fanny pack can be buckled and secured around your waist, but at rides like the Incredible Hulk and Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket and Jurassic World Velocicoaster, there is a 0 loose item policy, meaning you must put everything besides the shirt on your back and the pants on your legs and the shoes on your feet inside a locker. The only, and I mean the only exception to this 0 loose item policy is if you're wearing a lanyard holding your park ticket, since you're going to need that to reopen your locker. That being said, lanyards must be tucked into your shirt before you get on the ride. And rule number 2, no filming on rides. I mean, this one's pretty straightforward. Universal doesn't want you recording on their rides, so you will have to put those phones away and live in the moment instead. Okay, we've made it to entertainment. Now, you might not realize it at first, but Islands of Adventure actually has a few shows and character meet and greets you might want to check out during your next visit. Not a lot of them, but a few of them. So here's a list of all the extra IOA entertainment beyond the rides, as well as a quick list of who might want to prioritize these experiences versus who might want to skip them entirely. Classic comic book characters at Toon Lagoon. If you want to meet characters like Betty Boop and Popeye the Sailor Man and his main gal Olive Oyl, these classic tunes tend to appear at multiple times throughout the day around Toon Lagoon. This colorful gang is fun and a rather unique option when it comes to meet and greets, but many kids might not be as familiar with these characters that were more popular way back when. The Frog Choir at Hogsmeade. So if you love Dapper Dans over in Magic Kingdom, this is like the wizard amphibian version of that. Showtimes happen at multiple times throughout the day, so even if you don't have a whole lot of time to stop and listen for a spell, you might very well be able to still hear this frog choir perform as you pass by. Hogwarts Always at the Hogwarts Castle. Now this is my favorite show at Islands of Adventure. On select evenings, the Hogwarts Castle puts on a projection show accompanied by a swelling score in pyrotechnics too. Depending on the time of year you visit, you might even get a different version of the show that goes along with the holiday season. But keep in mind that the projections aren't a guaranteed nightly endeavor, so you'll want to check on the Universal website and the app to see if this is something you should be planning ahead for before your trip. Okay, another character meet and greet. You don't necessarily have to book a character meal at Cafe 4 if you want a fun Marvel meet and greet. At times, the Marvel heroes and even some of Marvel's greatest villains will take on the streets of Superhero Island. But as I mentioned earlier, these heroes are not going to be out of the MCU world for licensing reasons, so expect to see comic book classic characters that might feel a little more retro. Okay, gather around, kids. Your favorite Dr. Seuss characters are here to retell some of Dr. Seuss's most popular tales. Just so you're aware, the Grinch who takes the stage here is the classic cartoon version and not the live action version that you can meet during the holiday season when Grinchmas takes over the Seuss Landing area. Depending on who you prefer, you'll either be thrilled by that revelation or downright disappointed. Now, this next one's a good time. The Ollivanders Experience in Hogsmeade is an interactive show where one lucky witch or wizard will have a wand, choose them. I love this show for how authentic it feels to the films. However, there are 2 things I want to warn you about so you can warn your kids about it. There's only ever one wizard chosen per show, so if you didn't get chosen the first time, you'll have to try your luck and see if you can get chosen the next time. But even then, you're still not guaranteed to be the chosen wizard. And 2, if you are the chosen wizard, the wand that chooses you isn't free. While you don't have to purchase it, in order to take it home with you, you'll have to buy it first. Hey, it's Blue! Nope, not the dog that leaves all the paw print clues. It's Blue the raptor, which is a lot more terrifying. Blue is a good dino and she'll let you take a picture with her, but be warned, she knows she looks ferocious, so she might mess with you and give you a little jump scare. Now this one goes right along with all the stories you'll hear. You can meet and greet with a Cat in the Hat, Sam I Am, Thing 1 and Thing 2, or the cartoon version of the Grinch. Not the Benedict Cumberbatch version, the OG one. I don't know if I'd even count this as a show or attraction, really. Mystic Fountain at the Lost Continent is just a talking fountain that likes to get all sassy with you and spray water every now and then. It's charming and a cute interaction if you happen to be in the Lost Continent area, but I wouldn't plan your whole day around seeing this or anything, because it might take 1 or 2 minutes to see tops. And the Triwizard Spirit Rally at Hogsmeade. This is very cool. In the same place that the Frog Choir happens, the Triwizard Spirit Rally also performs throughout the day to get everyone all hyped up for the Triwizard Tournament. Now, if you're a Wizarding World completionist, you'll want to see this one. If you accidentally miss it, it's not the end of the world, but there's a lot of cool, showy stuff that goes along with this one. Okay, are you ready to take on Islands of Adventure? If you hesitated to answer, no worries. I've still got plenty of Universal videos to share with y'all to help you build up that big trip. And plenty more are on the way too. So be sure to check out our Universal 2025 playlist up on our channel now. And don't forget to download our free Universal Hotel Rankings Guide over at disneyfoodblog.com/Universal Ranks. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.